Cozy Podcast, episode 4. Who we here with today?
Deanna.
Okay, I mean, that's cool. Tell the audience about yourself and whatnot.
My name is Deanna. I go by D for short, so everybody mostly knows me as D.
Okay. Where you from?
About myself? Oh, I'm from Taunton.
Okay, okie dokie. Yeah, so I guess necessarily today's topic was brought to by D, and she wanted to talk about spirituality as a whole and probably more, obviously. So, yeah, we're just gonna get right into it and, talk about what you like to share to everybody and, what it consists of and whatnot. So, yeah.
Okay.
Let's no. Yeah, you get right into it. Go ahead.
Right into it. Okay.
Tell me.
So, I guess I have a question for you.
Okay.
Have you ever, I guess, dabbled in or watched anything that dealt with like manifestation?
Manifestation? No, not necessarily. I mean, let me ask, when you talk about spirituality, are we talking about like God's spirituality or like...
So I wanted to talk about like both of them because
Okay.
I feel like manifestation, some people do like crystals and stuff.
Right, that kind of spirituality
That's
stuff.
yes,
Yeah.
but then that also can connect to God because God, you can manifest on the word of God. And
True.
so I guess I'm wondering, like, what are your thoughts on manifestation? Like, that's where I want to start and go from there.
My thoughts on manifestation. I would say like, I don't know, I think it's very dead. Like, I don't necessarily have like a general idea of manifestation. I just say the things I want and, manifest them. Like, they just happen, I guess. I don't know. It's very vague. Like, there's not much area for me.
So when it comes into like that, I'm not heavy into it either. Like, I mostly believe in God.
Right.
But I can see how those two can actually connect because it's kind of like whatever you think with your mind. If you, like, say for instance, if you see yourself being, I don't know, being at that new job and you're always constantly like thinking about it.
Right.
You always can like imagine it, feel things, like you can actually feel yourself being in that position at that job, whatever the case may be. And months later or like a year later, then all of a sudden you have it. So that is a form of manifestation.
That's so real. I feel like that is
Yeah.
something I've done.
Yeah. So I feel
unknowingly done.
Yeah. So for instance, I'm really big into like books. Pinterest. Pinterest is like a
Yeah,
great thing to
definitely.
use.
Yeah.
So I always would pin rooms that had like a little mini libraries in it.
Oh,
I'm like,
cool.
that's something I really, really want. So like over the years, I had like Pinterest since I was like 16. I'll always pin that. And then now at the age of 26, almost 27, now I have a mini library in my room.
Oh, cool.
It consists of like 3 bookshelves, over 300 books.
Wow.
So that was something that I kind of like manifest because I've always seen myself with a library, a lot of books. I would
That's good.
pin it. Yeah, so like it's kind of like a lot of people manifest things without actually really knowing that they're manifesting it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to talk about.
Do you think like what's it called? Knowing that you're in the process of manifesting this thing like ruins it for like something you set your mind on? Does that like ruin the process?
I feel like it can if you're thinking too much into it. So we have a
yeah.
tendency as human beings to overthink and think into things too
That's true,
deeply.
yeah.
And that's how like we can ruin our like chances of like things.
Yeah.
But
I
if
agree.
you think about it and it's just like in the moment and you may think about it like a few more times after that, then I feel like that right there, that can actually help you get to that point because you're not overthinking it. It's just something. It's just a thought.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I guess where I want to go with this is that how does it connect to like God in a sense. So I don't know
Yeah.
how religious you are, or if you believe
I'm a
in God.
Christian.
Okay, so
I'm a
so
very much a
okay,
Christian. Yeah.
okay.
So,
So
hallelujah.
hallelujah, amen. So when it comes to God,
Right.
how it connects to Him is that He says anything that you ask of Him,
He
it
will
shall
give.
be.
Yeah.
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 But then also too, you can also manifest on certain Bible verses
That is true.
and pray about what
About,
you want
yeah,
come to your
pray with a
life.
Bible verse. Yeah.
Yes, and then so that's also a form of manifestation.
Yeah.
So
Or no, no. I mean, take your time. I'm just trying to process all of that. I was just about to say, like, in terms of like, because you said earlier how like crystals and God, like they're connected. So
they are connected.
if you could pray about like praying with a Bible verse, like, oh, I want this for myself, da da da, which is basically you manifesting.
Yeah.
What about people who use crystals like what it go beads? Or I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah. What about people who go through that? How is that connected to God on his own? Like when it comes to manifestation.
So my sister does crystals.
Okay.
So she has like quartz, clear quartz, whatever the case may be. She'll charge them in the sun or whatever, and then she'll use them, and then she'll pray. She'll pray. She'll manifest whatever she wants to manifest, and she'll pray to God and be grateful for God.
Pause
You
right
can
there.
use
I just
that.
want to pause.
Yeah.
Pray to God. Like, can you use crystals and still believe in a Christian God? Like, what?
So
Yeah.
that's something that I'm very confused about too, because
Yeah.
then it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah. So she says that she does that. I feel like
Isn't that contradicting?
it is contradicting
Yeah.
in a
Exactly.
sense. So it's like a gray area there for me. However, I guess when
Because
it
people are like, sorry, not to cut you
yeah
off.
no
People are like, oh, what do you believe in? I believe in the supernatural energy. I believe in the power, the middle eye. I'm like, what?
But that's true. So that's called the evil eye, whatever like
Right.
that. So that's true. And I think a lot of people have like a lot of people, they don't like how the Bible is,
Yeah, makes sense.
how the religion is, and so a lot of people, everybody doesn't want to follow rules.
Yeah, I think everything in the Bible on its own is
Yeah.
like very contradictive.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't want to follow certain rules. So those guys
Right.
will consider God as being automatically bad because they
Right.
want to be able to bend things to their certain ways to fit their ideal. However, when it comes to people that just say like, oh, like I'm spiritual, whatever the case may be, they have to understand that they get that from God because God made us in His image.
That's
And
true.
if you think about it, we are all mini gods ourselves. So we have the power to manifest and bring certain things into our life, especially whatever you speak with your tongue, it shall be as well. So when those guys say they're spiritual, they feel this higher power, you do actually have it, but you get it from God.
Yeah.
So I completely believe in people that are spiritual and they don't believe in God, whatever the case may be. They could, like, I believe that they're spiritual and that they can reach that certain height of spiritual power
Right.
because they are mini gods themselves. So when those guys are saying like all these energies that they're feeling and whatever the case may be, it is true, but they're getting it from within themselves. It's not necessarily outward.
So you could say regardless of the religion and whatnot, we all have that like inside omni God where we can manifest,
Yes, but
what
then
we-
also too, we're all connected as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like I don't want to get into deep, but I feel like religion is just, something built around just to, regulate us as human beings where we could fall in line, where, understands like, oh, you're this, you're that,
Yeah.
you're that. I just feel like it's also like something like old people like back in the ADs, not to say that there is no God, but I just feel like
Yeah.
religion has just been a way to like segregate us and divide us more, just to just make things harder than they really should be. When,
should be, yeah.
like you said, we're all connected and whatnot. So, yeah, I completely agree on that aspect where, we could manifest the God.
And then like if you get too deep, I don't want to get too deep into religion either, but like going off of what you're saying, like yeah, like I'm Christian, but then there's always like sub categories of
I
Christians.
know,
Like
it's like-
there's Catholics or
Protestants or
yeah,
whatever.
Protestants, or for instance Pentecostals.
Yeah.
So technically my mom, like she said, like we're Pentecostals.
I'm a
But
Pentecostal
yeah,
too.
see,
Yeah.
but then Pentecostals, if you go back in history and look at how those guys like formed the whole group, it was back in the 1970s they were
Really.
formed. So a lot of people are so against religion, and that's fine. I can understand that completely.
Yeah.
But religion is really a man-made thing,
Understood.
because
Yeah.
God never came and said, "Oh, this is what religion is," or He never said that. He never even named the people that followed Him either. He
Yeah.
never even gave them a name.
True. I mean,
So
isn't that contradictory? Because like then it's like in the Bible, he was like, people who follow me are Christ-like. Then Christians came up with, I guess he didn't really make it up. He
yeah,
just said it.
yeah, and
Then
then they
we
kind of
gave it. Yeah, I
ran
get
with
that.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so what I also want to talk about too is that when it comes to like manifestation, all that, and like spiritual things, whatever the case may be, like have you ever felt like you had like a certain like gift, like for instance like your intuition, if you meet somebody you can automatically see like through them?
Definitely not.
Okay.
I think I was just having this conversation with my boy, but like I'm so carefree, where it's like I don't necessarily, and I think that is a bad thing in a way, where it's like when you meet people, you can't necessarily sense like an aura, like you can't sense anything, and that is my fault because like I don't care to like read all these things or like get all that energy or whatever. Like I'm
Right.
just chilling,
Yeah.
like I don't go out of my way to read into people like, why are they doing this? Or how are they moving that way? Or
Yeah.
how it is that? Like I'm just going with the vibe.
Right.
Like I just expect everything to be a standard of positive. I
Yeah.
only start caring when things are negative, when things are like just not making me feel right. It's like, that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when like I start to catch on something like that's not
No,
right.
right.
Other than that, I don't like go out of my way to, like sense something
Sensing. Yeah.
about people or whatever. So
Yeah.
I know a lot of people do that apparently.
Or some people just naturally have that too. Like they can
Yeah.
see a person, like for instance, like everybody can love the person in the room, but then that person just feels something's really off with the person.
Yeah, very much so.
And so they'll go
Yeah.
off from like that vibe. And then that
Yeah.
connects back to spirituality because
Yeah, I think I saw some the other on TikTok where it's like we as individual are all emitting some type of aura that
and energy and
yeah, and
all that.
energy and whatnot. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, that does make sense. Like we all have certain types of energy that we pass out to the world that
Yeah.
people could see and get and all that. So yeah,
So people like to say like vibes. Oh, they're like I go off of vibes. I chill off of
Yeah.
vibes, whatever the case may be. But vibes are really our
energies.
energy
Yeah, very
and our
much so.
auras. Yeah. So yeah. So
The vibes are dead.
yeah.
I feel like vibe is a Gen Z. Is it? Yeah.
Gen Z
Gen
coin, literally,
Yeah,
at
a
this
Gen
point.
Z way of saying like, oh yeah, energy aura. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's funny.
So speaking of that and like certain like gifts, like people, some people have gifts of being able to tell like when a person's
Right.
off or something's not right. And then there's other people that have like gifts of like healing, like when you're around the person, you feel very calm, very understood, all that. Then there's people that have gifts of like discernment. So like they're able to what's it called? Like they have like basically like a wisdom to them. And then there's other people that have a gift of like visions, able to see things, see glimpses into the future. That also connects back to spirituality too. When people
All
like
this connects back to spirituality.
when they like
Wow.
read palms and everything like
Yeah.
that, and have but I don't know, like, do you feel like you ever like have like any certain type of gift other than like?
Yeah, I would say first of all, you saying all that, are there like categories of like gifts that are already
Gifts.
out there where it's like, some people have this, some other people have that, all that kind of stuff. Like there's like, 7 scenes where it's like greed, all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So is that like the same for like gifts too?
So when I was looking online, I did like minimum like research. Apparently there is about 21 different gifts that are in the Bible.
Really?
And It all depends. It all depends. I read like a few of them. One of them which popped out to me was like vision, the ones that can tell into
Yeah.
into the future and whatnot. And another one was wisdom, healing. A
I
few other
definitely,
ones I couldn't remember.
yeah, I definitely say I would agree. I would say for me, it's so hard because like I don't know. I definitely get into the vision. I'm not necessarily a healer. Could you say a helper?
Yes, that's one of them too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say I'm a helper. Like, I don't necessarily, I think I go out of my way to help people. Like, if you're in need of something, I would help you in, even either I have it or I don't have it. I think that's my gift to help people. Like, either it's to succeed or either it's to do better from themselves. I think I'm a helper,
A helper.
So, yeah, I'm not necessarily can't see into. What about you, though?
So when it comes to that, I have dreams. Now, a lot of people that know me and like knew me for like years, they know that I have like dreams. And my dreams, some of them come true.
Oh, we're
So for an
like
instance,
deja vu kind of moments.
sometimes I have deja vu, which is really weird. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
already been in this moment. I know. And I know a lot of people get that too, but I'm
Yeah,
like, I know exactly what you're about to say.
Yeah, yeah.
But I have like dreams. So and some of the dreams are very vivid. And I can tell, I can distinguish between when it's like a dream and when it's not. So the other day, I didn't really know what it was called, but I know that God in the Bible talks about like the people that see the future. Like
Yeah.
that's one of their gifts.
Yeah.
And I was on YouTube, and this is another thing. This is how it connects. This whole entire thing connects to psychology too. That word that you say, scutonality.
What spirituality?
No, it starts with a SY, coined by Carl Jung.
Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't there one of those in there?
Hold on. You
Basically,
said synchronicity.
yes,
Synchronicity.
yes.
Yeah.
This is how this connects. Spirituality connects to that. So basically, there are signs.
Keep talking. By the way, I just want to check. Go ahead.
There are signs, and there are signs and things that are patterns that you see throughout your life, or if you'll start noticing like a lot, and it can connect. You could bring two events together, and it'll connect. So, for instance, I was wondering about like, I have very vivid dreams, and a lot of them throughout my life came to pass. And I was like, I wonder what it's called. But I wasn't really too focused on it. So then on my YouTube, so I have two different YouTubes. I have a YouTube that I had like for years, and I have another YouTube that's just like on my phone.
Right.
And so they have no connection to each other. But one of the videos, a video showed up something about a seer. And I'm like, what is a seer? I'm like, well, whatever. I scroll by. I'm not going to watch the video. And then 2 days later, I get on my iPad with my YouTube that I had for a while, all these videos start popping up of like seer and God's seers and da-da-da. And I'm like, what is this? So then I clicked on it, and it was talking about visions and vivid dreams, and you can see into glimpses of your future and things come to pass. So that's where that word of whatever
Synchronicity
comes into play.
Right.
Now, for another example too, there was, and this also connects back to spirituality too. Everything, like you said, connects. There was a person that I talked to for like years, and then we cut off contact. And for some reason, they don't even live in this state. I seen people that look exactly like this person everywhere, or similar, has similar hair, similar complexion, wore glasses. So it was just weird. I was seeing too many people that looked similar to this person. And then I had a dream. And I was in the dream, and then I literally watched that person in their room go to my contact and text, hey, and then sent it. And I'm like, that dream felt really vivid, really. I was like, I just dismiss it completely. And then out of nowhere, a week later, I get the same exact text message. Hey. And I'm like, okay. And then after seeing so many people that looked like that person, They totally disappear. This person that was working at this McDonald's for like a whole year, basically, I never seen them again, and they look exactly like that person.
Right. That's weird.
It's weird. So that's where that comes into play. So
Right.
I guess, like, have you ever noticed like any patterns or whatnot inside your life, and then all of a sudden it connects? Like, like you're not crazy. Like it doesn't feel like a coincidence because you're seeing it too often, and then it happen, like it brings you to somewhere, it connects you to another.
Yeah, in a way. Like, I wish I could bring up instances. Like, I just know me. I don't pay attention to things that not necessarily like. Should I worry about this? But I feel like I've had those moments, but I just burn it out of my memories. Like, I would see it, I'm like, oh, that's weird. Like, I'm thinking it's probably like, oh, maybe it's a deja vu moment, or it's because I've had times where I've had a dream, and then I feel like I'm living in it, and it's like, this is weirdly connected. Like, I don't know. I just really always burn like things like that out of my mind, because like, what am I gonna do with
What
this?
are you gonna do about it, right?
So it's like, I don't know. Like, that is so relatable that
Yeah.
you said that, and like so trippy now that you actually think about it. 'Cause like, wow,
Yeah.
like, oof.
So
Yeah.
then this connects to relationships
Yeah.
as well too. So for instance, back to feeling like energies and whatnot. I don't know how and it all depends on how in tune you are with themselves.
Right.
So there are certain like feelings and whatnot that you can feel within your chest. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, I feel that.
Yeah. So when you feel certain things within your chest, and say if it's a person you're not talking to, or a person that you are talking to, and you guys are connected in some sort of way,
Right.
and you're able to actually exchange and feel their energy.
Yeah.
And so, with that being said,
Do you mean like, so in terms of like talking to somebody you're interested in, like you could feel a person's energy through your chest?
You can. Or like if it's just like a family member that you're very close to, you can feel their energy through your chest. Or also too.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I wouldn't.
I would say like for me, like when I'm having like feel good moments, like I wouldn't necessarily say my chest. I would say it's my body. Like I start getting goosebumps, and I start feeling like all like a very nice, good feeling, and just like mostly goosebumps. Like, oh, we're having a conversation. This could be like with somebody you like. This could be with a family member. It could be with a friend. It's just like people like you feel very connected to.
Yeah.
I start feeling feel good. Like that, I started feeling really good, and I started having goosebumps. Like, oh wow, this is like such a wholesome conversation, like such a wholesome moment. I wouldn't necessarily say my chest, like,
Yeah, that's
So-
true. That's true. I guess it all like is different from person to person.
yeah.
Usually, like if I feel really connected to a person, I can feel it within my chest. Like even if the person is like far away, or if they're close, if I seen them a lot, whatnot, or if they're my family member.
Is that like a feel good feeling in your chest or what?
It feels like a pulling sensation that
Well,
I can
then I feel
feel.
a panic attack. So that's the only thing I feel. So yeah.
So, and I feel like we're exchanging energies, and
Right.
we're all connected all together, but there's just some people that we are more connected to than others. So then it falls into like, do you believe in like soulmates? Do you believe in like reincarnation, twins, flames, all that and whatnot?
I mean, soulmates, yes. Reincarnation, I feel like that's so vague because I don't know. Like, who is there to prove it? Like, there's just not enough proof.
That's true.
Like, maybe there is like reincarnation, but like, I don't know. I feel like it's just too complicated for me to even think about. Because like, is it really real? How do we know? Like, you hear people like, oh, I died, then I went to heaven and come back. That is some crazy BS.
stuff, right?
Like, oh, I went to hell and I came back. What? Like, I don't know. It's just there's so many BS being thrown around back and forth just to prove spirituality so bad. And it's like I don't believe that, It's like so vague. Like, oh, I saw Jesus. He was some white man. Da da da. Like
They love that one.
I know. So I don't know. I don't think I believe in reincarnation. Like maybe not. We will never know. That's the thing.
we'll never
We
know.
will just never know. Do you have like a big take about it? Like, do you believe in it?
I think it's possible that we could be reincarnated. And the people that we like meet now, there is a possibility that we've known them in past lives and they're just coming back in different forms.
Yeah.
So I was wondering about that too. And I'm like, there has to be like a Bible verse that like explains this.
Reincarnation and
Yeah,
stuff.
but it did say in the Bible that no man has ever ascended to earth, to heaven.
Yeah, basically, because apparently we are all waiting for the judgment day and
Yeah.
the final day. So it's like,
So then if you take that and run with it,
yeah,
there could be a possibility that reincarnation could be a thing.
because
And
we're
that,
all being recycled and
yeah. So then the people that we are
that is true.
yeah, so the people that we are meeting, they were most likely in our past life, but as something completely different.
yeah, that is true. Because that does make sense. Like, like this whole earth has been going on for billions of years.
Yeah, like 4, 6
So,
billion
and
years.
people like, oh, when you die, you go to heaven. No, you're just flowing in the air.
Yeah,
So
pretty
it's
much.
like we're all waiting for the judgment
Yeah.
day because the revelation hasn't come, and there's no pre-recorded history. I mean, only revelations where the whole day has happened, but even at that, it's like when who was describing it. Whoever was describing it, like,
I think
oh,
it's
the headed
John
bee,
or something like that. Yeah.
whatever. It's like that's another thing on its own. So it's like that hasn't really happened, and we're just all waiting for like the final day where everything really comes to an end. So when we do die, we're just floating in the air. So I guess I see your point where like
Yeah.
the possibility of reincarnation could be possible.
So this is very strange. So I'm going to tell you a quick story. I remember when I actually...
Pause real quick.
Okay.
Oosh. Go ahead.
Okay, so I remember when I actually was born. I came out the sky and went right into my mother's stomach. And then I was birthed.
Okay.
So some people, if you look back and actually do research, some people actually remember when they were born. Some people remember their early years. There are a lot of stories with people that are able to recount their past lives. And then over time, it fades and they forget it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it ties back to when you said something about like when you dreamt about something, it feels like you're doing it before. But it's like you live in a moment and it feels like you've lived this life before.
Yeah.
I used to have that like a couple years ago, I would say when I first moved here, maybe like even back in 2021. Like there's this moment, I remember when I was like 8 years old, still back in Nigeria. This is basically me right now. So I remember there was this one night where my aunt, she makes a bowl of spaghetti and I ate that spaghetti and it was really nice. Then I went to sleep and this was like a long time ago, but I feel like my 8 years old self is still sleeping and I'm just, all of this is all a dream. Like I feel like I'm still dreaming because like constantly always think about that night I ate that spaghetti and I went to bed. And like, even when I was a teenager, I was like, I feel like this is a dream. And I feel like all my life right now is a dream. I feel like I'm just waiting to wake up. And that's just something I feel like, feels like I've done this before. It feels very, I don't know, it's a very trippy feeling. Like I don't feel it anymore, but I know like a couple years ago, I used to really feel
like
that way, So it's like weird.
So there are people that are like conspiracists and there is a whole conspiracy theory that everybody is just living in a stimulation and we're all waking
I heard
waiting
about
to wake
that too.
up.
Yeah.
So once we die, that's when we actually
Wake up. Yeah.
I don't know.
That would suck.
Yeah, I know. That would really suck.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't know how to really feel about that.
Yeah.
If you think about it in a sense, how does that really truly make sense?
Yeah. Did you see the story about this guy where it was a TikTok story. I don't know if you watched Reddit, but basically the guy, he was in a fight, he got knocked out, but this whole time he was dreaming about having a family, graduating college.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah, I was like, he saw the lamp and all of a
The
sudden it
2D
wasn't
like
there.
lamp, yeah.
And apparently wasn't there. And his wife was there. I'm like, oh my God, I must be devastating. Like
That literally.
he dreamt about a whole life within
Family.
an hour. Like, whew. And it just made me really remember that moment where I was like a kid and with spaghetti. I was like, oh my God, that is so weird.
That's so weird,
Like
yeah.
imagine that is all of us right now and whatnot.
That's true. Well, do you believe that there are like different worlds of and different versions of us in parallel universes and whatnot, because then that kind of feeds into all that.
In a way, slightly, like I would say 10%. My mind is open to that, just because I watch too much, superhero movies, and whatnot. So it's like it's there, but it's not really there. I don't know. I don't really have much of an opinion about
Opinion
that,
about it?
So it's like I'm just on that.
I don't feel much about it, but this really freaked me out. So I'm like obsessed with Converses. There
Like
were
the
these,
shoes?
yeah.
Right.
There was these. They came out with like the like the platform ones.
Word.
They had a pair of like pink ones, but they were like a dullish pink, and then they had like tan ones, and
Oh,
it's kind
cool.
of like leather. So I remember I bought both of them. My mother was with me that day. She saw I bought both of the
She was
shoes.
mad?
No, she was with me that day. She
Oh,
saw
right.
that I bought both of them.
Oh, yeah.
I brought them home. I tried them on and showed my sister. She remembers them.
Right.
I had my guy friend come over. He's like, "Oh, those are really nice." I showed him too. It's all this happened all on the same day.
Right.
So I went to go hang out with somebody back in December.
Right.
I'm looking for these shoes everywhere. Mind you, I took pictures of them and everything.
Did you buy the shoes, like, how far back from December to when did you buy the shoes?
So when I bought the shoes, it was back in May of 2023.
Right.
When I went to go and look for them, it was in like November, late November.
Right.
And I wanted to wear them. Shoes nowhere to be found.
Right.
They weren't in my closet. They weren't anywhere. I'm looking, I typed in my phone. I said the pink Converses for like the pictures. Nothing popped up. Nowhere. And I'm like, there's no way.
And you took pictures of it?
I took pictures of it because I tried on the shoe in the store before I bought it.
Right.
And I'm asking, like, do you remember those pink Converses I have? Call my mom, like, yeah, you bought the pink Converses. I remember you tried them on. I called my guy friends, like, yeah, you had them. Like, you showed them to me in your house. Like, you showed me,
Right.
like, the two pair of Converses. Nowhere to be found. And then I thought to myself, I'm like, there's no way.
Right.
I had the receipt and everything, and it wasn't on the receipt.
Wait, what?
So
Like-
I had the receipt of when I bought the shoes. It wasn't on the receipt.
Like the shoes weren't on the receipt?
The shoes were not on the receipt. The shoes just disappeared. So then that made me think that, could there actually be a possibility that there are different universes or parallel universes that my other version of myself does have both of my shoes?
That's so weird.
And I'm like, well, doesn't that all fall into like spirituality and all that too?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it was really strange. Anyways, I end up buying the shoes again.
Oh, wow.
So now I know, and I was staring at them like I put them right here. But it was very, very strange. So
If they get misplaced again, let me know. That'd
yeah,
be tricky as well.
yeah. So I think I think we live in a really weird world where a lot of things are just really connected, and through like relationships and everything, like everything that we encounter, like people that we encounter, people that come to our lives, stay for a while, people that come and only stay for a little bit, like everything, like nothing just happens. Nothing just happens. Everything happens for a reason.
Right.
Even if you like met a person, you guys talk for a little bit, you guys talk for like 2 weeks or whatnot, and then like they completely like disappear for your life. That conversation had meaning. You either like learned from it, or you took something from it at that time. So it's just, I feel like everything.
But then people be
connects
like,
back to
people are gonna be like, oh, that's time wasted. Like I wasted my time. And I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess it happened for a reason.
It happened for a reason. I always like to say character development, because you grow from each thing that happens to you.
Right.
But then it's also very connected to you and your life and your journey and your path, what you're going on. So when it comes to like relationships, especially like friendships, it's like really one of the big ones. Like when you feel like it's time to go, like you feel like these people are not supposed to be in your life anymore, you outgrew them, but at a certain time, like you needed them there.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like friendships and whatnot, trying to see where I'm trying to
No,
go
no,
from
go ahead.
here.
I'm really excited. Like, go ahead.
When it comes to friendships and whatnot, and like you feel like you're outgrowing them, and you feel like you need to move on, that's you going on your own spiritual like
Your own
journey,
path.
your own path, and you're growing from that whole thing.
Yeah.
So, for example, I was friends with these 3 girls. I met them all in middle school. We went to high school together, all that. We hung out. And I told them in senior year, I'm like, you guys know I'm not
Senior year of like high
high
school?
school.
Oh,
I
cool.
was like, I'm not going to be you guys' friends for that long. And once again, anything you speak with your tongue shall be too as well. And people have to really be careful with that because it's true. It's very true. I'm going off topic, but if you think of yourself very lowly and like you say things about yourself with your tongue, that's like a curse in a sense.
Yeah.
So like a person can come in here, not come in here, but like, say you're friends with this person seems to be happy for you, whatnot, or like they'll say something that's kind of like back like a backhanded compliment,
Yeah.
like, oh, I really like your place. It's really, really nice. They're smiling and all, so I hope you don't lose it. That's kind of like a
Yeah, it's weird.
It's
Yeah.
like a spell, like type thing, and that connects back to spirituality too. But also, so I told them like, you guys, I'm not gonna be your friend. I feel like we're not gonna be friends for that long.
Yeah.
And it also deals a lot with your mindset too. You just know when certain people are not where your mind is at.
That's real. Yep.
Because you've grown so much mentally wise. So those guys are like, oh, whatever the case may be, like blah 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 blah. And I'm like, no, I'm being serious. But we all laughed about it. I'm like, we're not gonna be friends for that long.
Yeah.
So we end up hanging out. We ended up hanging out a few more times. I ended up telling them like, like, there's certain things that you guys like should do. Like, what are you guys' goals? Like, what do you guys want to do in life? Like, we're getting old. Like, we're getting older to the point like we have to start talking about like
real life,
like real
shit,
stuff.
Yeah.
And so the guy's like, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that. But like, we're getting literally like blackout drunk, and I'm like, this is literally not
How life should be.
Yeah, like like you feel like there's more. Like you're here, where you at right now, like in your life, you're here. You're grateful for everything you have, but you know that there is more. Like there's something that's
so
like
real.
missing, and so I just felt like something was just like missing at that time, and I was trying to tell them like, go to college. Do something. I said, or you don't have to even go to college. Like, do something that's like creative or something that you always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like, just
add meaning to your life.
Add meaning to your life.
Add meaning to everybody.
Yeah.
Like, be of value. Yeah.
So at first, those guys were like, "Oh yeah, like that's some real shit," whatever the case may be. But then after a while, I think those guys just got sick of me like talking about it. So I'm like, I want you guys to prosper as much as I'm prospering too. Even if it's not at my table, you guys not eating at my same table.
That's real.
I want you guys to prosper.
That's real.
So and that's what I mean. Like it all depends because there are people around you, and they're called monitoring spirits. So if you say you're talking about like your goals, things that you want to do. They're called monitoring spirits that they hear everything that you're saying. They try to sabotage that, or they bring bad energy to that. A lot of people don't know that you have certain energies in you when even if you're not seeing it outwardly, you're feeling it.
Yeah.
And that's like doubting a person. So
that's so real. Yeah. People could feel like the intensity of your energy, like what you're capable of doing without even you saying it.
And that makes them want to either or like sabotage it or completely just they're lame. They just want to worry about this, that, before. So I had a best friend. She's been my best friend for like 12 years. She's my ex-best friend now. She was like, how is your GPA that high? And we started school at the same time. Didn't congratulate me. How are you getting these good grades? How are you doing this, that, and the fourth? But, I'm not doing that. Like, and that's what I mean. Like, I'm not saying that that's her because we're all fighting like a spiritual, in a sense that those guys say we're all in a spiritual war.
Oh, yeah.
So if we're in a spiritual warfare, we're not really fighting like the flesh. We're dealing with other energies,
Mental,
souls, spirits,
spirit, body.
all
Yep,
that.
yep, yep.
So I was like, okay, like this is where I have to draw the
Cut it
line
off.
in
Yeah.
it. So I did that with a lot of them, and now I'm here, and now I feel like when I was in those friendships, I didn't feel as supported. No one heard me, no one wanted to listen. But now I'm in a place where I feel better. I feel more clear and more grounded and more like this is who I am.
Yeah.
So that's really how it connects to relationships, especially friendships. I feel like friendships is like my biggest thing.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
people that can't be around you that if you don't have certain gifts of like intuition and whatnot, or whatever the case, you have them inside your life and that they can sabotage what you have going on, but they can act like they are
Just there,
yeah,
like
or
buddy
and
buddy and all
supporting
that.
you,
Yeah.
but in their mind, they're probably like, oh, they think that they can do that. They probably won't even do that. I'm gonna stay around till I see if they do that. Or
That's real.
there's people that's in your life that's like, oh, I'm gonna be with that person because I see their light. I see how they're shining. So I'm gonna be with them. So once it happens, I get that benefit. I'm benefiting off of them.
That's
And
real.
those are energy drainers. You'll feel when a person is draining your energy. Dealt with that recently. There's a person that I literally didn't see, haven't seen a month and a half. But every time they contacted me, my energy was being drained. I felt very tired and worn down. And it's like, after that, I haven't talked to the person. I feel great.
Yeah, that's real. That is
So
real.
a lot of things in our lives are heavily based off of spirituality.
Yeah, I think, and I really have a lot to say about that now that you said
Yeah.
that. But like, I think the other day, I posted something on my Instagram where it was like, find friends that add value to your life. Like, you don't want anybody that is constantly taken
that. Yeah,
out of
yeah,
your
yeah.
life. Like, you want people that actually add some type of value, add meaning. That, like, it's all nice and fun. Like, you could have friends just for the fun of it, but it comes to a point where it's like that's not all that there is to life. Like, life is not all about fun. Like, you really want to be around people that are making your life better. You want to have people that are making your life more meaningful and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, find those friends that add value. And I just really want to go off that about how friendships are so important. So when I moved to this country for like I moved here 2018. So like 2018 all the way to 2021, I genuinely didn't have any friends. I didn't have anybody I could talk to. I didn't have anybody I could constantly text. I was all alone by myself. So even throughout high school, like I would have people I would talk to at school, but it wasn't like, oh, text, have a good time, da da da. Like I still have some of my friends back in Nigeria, but them being out here was like a very big disadvantage, and it really sucked. But I genuinely didn't have friends, and I would always just stick to myself. Plus, like people around my age, like Dan was like going to parties, having fun. Meanwhile, I was like on a whole completely different mindset. I was
Same
like,
mindset,
how
yeah.
am I gonna make this money? Da da da. Like my thing was I wanted to set a legacy for myself. I was so concerned about trying to set a legacy, trying to be some very distinctive, person where it's like when they see me, like, oh wow, So like a lot of the people I was trying to make friends, or the crowd I was trying to make friends, was just they were not feeling the vibe. So I remember like I was just always being alone. Like even the friends I have in high school, like, yo, like let's go to this party. I'm like, not really my crowd. Until I finally, in 2020 met the kind of people I wanted to, like, I had my first genuine friend in 2021, like, and that was like, it changed from there. Like, then I started meeting people that were like-minded, people that wanted the best for me, people that were supportive of me, people that were just, just there when you needed them. And, just everything changed. And I guess I would say, like, to anybody out there, you shouldn't go out to like look for friends. Like the right people will come at the right time.
Yep.
Like don't stress yourself. Like, oh, I'm lonely, I need friends. Like, no, some people just want to see you go down. Like energy
Yeah.
drain is for real. Like genuine people will come to your life at the time that time of your life. So it's like, sit back, do what you need to do to become a better person, and they'll come. You don't want anybody that is not adding any value to your life. That is so, very unnecessary and whatnot. So,
But there are people too that when you are doing good in your life, that they are sent to you to sabotage that as
Very
well.
much so. Yeah.
So you have to be able to move in this world with discernment and
Yeah.
be able to really distinguish between the people that really are there for you.
And that's so real that you said that,
Yeah.
because like when you're doing good, that's when the people will just start popping up like,
Yeah.
yo, what's up? How you been? Like, I haven't spoken to you in a while, da da
Yeah.
da. Like, enemy of progress, you know? So like, so yeah, I really, you really have to move with so much caution. It's like,
Yeah.
you know?
So recently, I've been having so many people come back from like my past that have been coming back into my life. So what's very strange about it is that I was going through like a little hard time. But it was strange because all these people that were coming back from the past, they needed like advice and wisdom and like strength. Very strange. So I started noticing that, and I'm like, well, I'm the one that needs that.
Yeah.
But I'm here for them, so I'm like helping them. I was at some Asian restaurant and I got a fortune cookie, and it was just very strange that it literally said, actually, it says right here, it says, you are a source of wisdom and strength to many people. And I just thought that that was very strange because everyone that's recently been coming back from my past has been going through such like a hard time. And I'm speaking, I guess, positivity into their lives. And those guys are like, you know what? Like, that's some real,
Yeah.
So it all depends.
Keep going on. Sorry.
Okay. It all depends. It's just very strange. The world's very strange. There's a lot of like energy everywhere. Also too, I want to go off of what you said too about like friends and like those people will come to you when time is needed. You have to think of I wouldn't say think of yourself highly because no one's better than the next person. But you have to put yourself at a point that I know what I offer. I know, for instance, like I know I'm a good friend. I know I'm there when a person needs me. I know that I'm very sensitive. I'm very loving. I'm very caring. And if you put yourself at that point, this falls into a law of attraction. You're able to actually attract people that are like-minded like that to
Very
you.
much so. Yeah. Very much
So
so.
everything just kind of like goes together. Everything is very connected.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that don't really think too much on it and don't really see that. And then there's
Yeah.
people that do. And those people that do are kind of very much in tune with themselves and in tune with their spirituality. So it's
It's all connected.
interesting. It's fun. It's fun if you think of it in a sense. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely agree for sure, 100%. Like, you know, I was telling my friend the other day, like, I don't want to, I feel like entitlement is the extreme. Like, I want to try to move with entitlement because, like, I know, I wouldn't say I've done some crazy self work, but I know me as a friend, I have a lot to offer, you know. Where it's like I could add so much value to your life. I could
Yeah.
help you in ways that you wouldn't even expect. So it's like when people try to treat you less or like not see that, it's like just try to move it, humble yourself, like be humble how
Yeah.
you move, you know. I feel like entitlement is like the most extreme you could probably go because then now
Yeah.
you're just moving anyway. But yeah, just like humble yourself, like you know what you bring to people, what you could bring to people. So it's like move with that, you know.
And then certain people fumble you, and that happens all the time.
Happens.
But then those people notice because they come back.
Yeah.
And then they also try to sabotage also in the prop. But they try to come
Right.
back. They try to get that light again. So it's just that we all just need to be cautious. We all have to have really like protection over our energy. The Bible talks about guard your heart. I know if you like really think about it, I read this book. It's called "Don't Believe Everything You Think" by Joseph Nagai, and he talks about how we are actually very loving human beings. When we're born, all we want is love and want
yeah.
to give love. And it's the things of this world or like situations that put us in predicaments that we have to protect ourselves or have to move the way that we move.
Right.
So unfortunately, that's just kind of how we have to like see the world. But I think a lot of us, or if there's a possibility that a lot of people can be more in tune with their self, I feel like we would get a lot farther in in on our paths and on our journey where we're supposed to be. So,
Yeah, I completely agree. There's not enough love in this world to go around,
oh
so
yeah, definitely
sadly,
not.
like everybody now is just gatekeeping love. Like, yeah, so I
Yeah.
feel like there's, especially now, I feel like there's a lot of hate going around, like in more instances than none. Like, especially like debates, controversies, like so
Yeah.
many stuff to just spark up unnecessary hate.
Hate. Yeah.
And it's like, all this for what? And it's like, we're all
That's very
just
true.
tearing ourselves apart, dividing ourselves further than whatever. And God, the one and one, actually, I don't want to get into that. That's a topic for another person. But yeah, I speak my
You
piece,
speak your piece. Yeah. So when it comes down to it, like those are literally like what like the main points I did want to like really talk
Right.
about because it has been like on my spirit, and I have been getting like a lot of things that like YouTube videos or like seeing certain things. It
Right.
feels like I just had to talk about that.
Right.
So that's pretty much what I want to talk about. So I don't know if you have anything else that you really want to
No,
add
you
to
you
it.
did you did a great job, breaking down and analyzing all that. Like that was, I mean, I definitely learned something for sure. That was a great topic. I can't wait to share this. Obviously, I feel like a lot of people resonate with this in ways than none. I know somebody who will for sure. But that is today's topic with our one and only guest, D. Appreciate
Yeah.
you for coming out
No, thank you
today.
for having me. This was
This
really
was great.
fun.
Yeah.
I guess the main lesson from this all is really just protect yourself, protect your energies, and just be careful who you have in your company.
Right.
Because not everyone is for you, and that's okay. Just because you are a loving person doesn't mean everyone is like that, and that's also okay too.
That's real. Well, and that is it for Cozy Podcast. Yeah, that's it. Let's get this.
Bye.